Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to The Incredibles on the Nintendo GameCube. And we're off to the island. Well, more back to the island, but you know what I mean. And we're gonna like, comment, and subscribe. It's showtime. Oh no.
Oh, this thing. Oh my gosh, no.
We're still a ways from fighting it, but yeah, you have to fight it in this game.
No.
And it is not fun.
I wonder with the new movie what kind of like bad boss they're gonna have at the end, since they have this crazy robot for this one.
The boss in the new movie, his name is Screen Slaver. He uses television to hypnotize people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very cool.
Also, a little surprise, but it's already been leaked, but the so-called new supers that you meet, they're actually not supers, they're the children of super villains.
What? Alright, why are there so many spoilers already about the
Because
movie?
people have been waiting for this movie for 15 years!
I'm sorry, but some of the people that look like they were voicing, like, I saw some clips of new superheroes. No offense, but the superheroes looked kind of lame.
Yeah, that's because they're not heroes, they're villains.
Oh.
They're pretending to be heroes.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So the TV hypnotizing thing, that's like the Joker's weird, like, girl that he used to hypnotize people in one of the episodes.
I mean, there's been a lot of movies with villains doing that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, Shadow.
Yeah, Shadow's back.
Alright, I'm gonna go get her.
Yep, you do that. I'll just take care of this stuff. Aha! That's how you do that, okay. Nice job. Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Yeah, so
we gotta grab this device?
I don't
twist
know.
it.
Like I was telling Luke during between these two episodes last month, I just don't know how the movie's gonna live up to the hype of like 15 years. I feel like even if the movie is amazing, people will still be disappointed because there's no way you can live up to that much hype.
Yeah, I mean, the hype train is pretty big. I would be happy if the movie is somewhat successful and they could make, like, either a comic book or an animated series. These characters are too wonderful just to only survive one movie and two video games. Like, they need to be fleshed out. They need to be expanded upon.
Oh, it could be an entire show, definitely.
Oh, yeah. You could even have a prologue with Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl during the glory days.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that Samuel L. Jackson wasn't quite as famous as he is today when he did the first movie, or no? He
was doing a lot of movies back then.
Oh, okay, never mind. He was always pretty famous then.
Well, he would take whatever acting job he could, but he really liked the role of Frozone, and he liked the role of Mace Windu in Star Wars.
Cool. Yeah, so, I mean, it would be nice if they could get him a... Hopefully they'll do more of a role, but I still don't know if... Oh, no, they are gonna make him just... I was gonna say if it's gonna be way older or not, but I guess they're not gonna age... They're not gonna age progress it, so...
The movie takes place about a year... Wait, no. No, it takes place 3 months after the first movie, so they were all coming home from, Dash's race of getting second place, close second, and then the Underminer appears. I don't know if there's going to be a time skip after the Underminer incident at the beginning of the film. Probably not. So that would make Bob and Helen in their probably late 40s. Violet would be 15, and Dash would be probably 8. Jack being... I forget how old Jack is. I think he's at least a year old. Whee!
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking, if they had done the sequel years ago, right after it, then it would have come out way before Kylo Ren ever happened. So they would have been the first to do it, really. Like, the son would be a bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be comping off Star Wars at all. In fact, it was their idea first, anyway.
Yeah, and the original cast actually liked the idea, and they actually had... I believe the guy who was voicing Syndrome was going to be back playing Jack.
Well, Yeah, I mean, that... Oh, interesting. Well, if you think about it, if you look at all of Jack's powers, which you don't even know how many he has...
Way too many.
I mean, they're perfect supervillain powers, bursting into flames, becoming some kind of monster.
Multiplying.
All kinds of stuff. I mean, these are like things that you would fight a final boss, like... That'd be much more interesting than some person that can, like, you know, hypnotize you with TV. I mean, that's already a supervillain in real life, is the television. Never mind. Don't get me started. But the TV already does hypnotize me in real life.
There is a crazy theory, very crazy theory, that Syndrome's mom wasn't killed by him. Like, they thought that she was gone. There's two theories. One theory is she was one of the members of the Phantasmics. Another theory is she was the girl that dated one of the supers or whatever and had Bob, and then kind of dropped out of hero stuff. And then when she learns that something happens to her son, because you can't really see the gender of Screenslaver, and after the whole, you know, Batman Telltale series where we thought, like, the child of Arkham was a dude and it turned out to be Vicky.
We destroyed her son.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Because Screenslaver is out for revenge against the Incredibles and we don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
What if Syndrome's mom... Like, what if his dad left his mom because his mom was evil?
That's a fun theory.
And then he was raised without a mother and had to sit there with his dad.
With his egotistical super dad.
Wondering where his mom was the whole time. But he probably wouldn't let him see his mom because she was evil.
That doesn't work because Mr. Incredible doesn't say, we'll see your stepmom later.
Yeah.
Mr. Incredible says, you know, make sure he knows the mother.
Yeah, he knows her.
She has to be a super. I don't think she's a villain.
Maybe she would go crazy knowing her son died.
I think she goes crazy, yeah.
I was gonna say, that would be interesting if his mom was evil, but his dad was good.
And just keep in mind, people, this is just a discussion. Amber and I have no idea what the new film...
We have not seen the movie. We're just trying to, like, think about what it could be.
I'm just going based on what the popular culture is right now. Is it's very common to give women, like, very big roles in the films.
Yeah.
And they're making it out to be that Screenslaver is, like, this new bad guy, but what if that guy is actually a bad girl and Syndrome's mom?
That would be very interesting for Mrs. Incredible to actually fight another, like, a girl villain. Chick fight, basically. I don't know.
Because rumor has it that Syndrome's mother had the power of, she was basically like Jean Grey. She had the ability to control minds and stuff.
Whoa.
Screenslaver is a character that is able to hypnotize people through the TV using telekinesis. So, since the mother had telekinesis, and Screenslaver is... I'm surprised there aren't videos about this right now, but Screenslaver was just kind of like announced in the trailers a couple months ago. So, I mean, even when they started hyping up Incredibles 2, they didn't really show you who the villain was. It was all about Mom going to work. And then one of the official launch trailers introduced us to Screenslaver. And as we've gotten into it, you know, they've expanded the role a little bit and explained some more stuff. But
I would still leave room for Jack to be a villain in Incredibles 3. I'm just saying. Yeah. Because he's just a tiny little baby right now. This one.
It's going to be very hard for him to adjust as a kid with all these different powers. I mean, it really feels like they didn't think that they were... I'm pretty sure they didn't think The Incredibles was going to be a hit because of how, like, the underlining of darkness the film has.
They pulled out all the stops at the end with Jack.
Oh, yeah, they did.
It was like they made him basically Superman.
Well, originally, he wasn't supposed to have powers.
Oh, wow.
It was supposed to be like the parallel between him and Syndrome. Although Syndrome, this is going to blow you away, people. It's very possible, dang it, that Syndrome has a superpower. If he's really the son of a family of supers, it is listed that his power is super intelligence.
Wow, so it's like beyond normal intelligence.
Right.
Like he's just not smart.
He's super smart.
he's like unbelievably, abnormally smart.
Because
like,
remember, the Incredibles universe takes place in the 1950s and the 70s. Most of the technology that he has on this island of supers, flat panel televisions, tablets, Wi-Fi, Blu-ray,
yeah, for the time,
jets,
that he
lasers.
lived. Yeah,
that would not have been common in the 1970s.
Yeah, so in reality, he does have a superpower then. It's just, like you were telling me when we were talking, when we were, like, between episodes and stuff, that, like, it is really weird,
come on,
like, to be smarter than your parents, because it is hard, you know, that would definitely make you go crazy, being smarter than your parents.
There's a crazy rumor that... This is stupid, but I would find it hilarious that Syndrome's mother was Strato Girl, who's the girl who was sucked into the airplane because of her cape.
Yeah.
And he grew up with a very condescending, egotistical father who was like one of the most popular heroes, like bigger than Mr. Incredible. He was like on a superhero team.
Yeah.
And which goes back to the Phantasmics. And Syndrome just couldn't relate to his dad because that's why he chose Mr. Incredible. But it also... the death of Strato Girl didn't happen until after Bob and Helen got married. So, I mean, it's very possible that the mother could have been a super, and she's either Screenslaver, the now super villain, or she's gone.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, like I was saying to Luke before...
Pew, 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 pew,
pew, pew, yay! Oh no! Well, like
this is hard.
I was saying to Luke that even like people kind of were talking about how like, oh, why didn't he just look up to his parents? It's like, because like if you hate your parents, you would go to anyone. You would just ask a person on the street that you don't even know for help instead of them. Like that, like if you really don't like your parents, you would just go to anyone but them. So even if he didn't even know Mr. Incredible very well, he would just see him like, okay, this guy looks kind of like my dad. Like, okay, I don't care. Like, even if he doesn't know me, I'm gonna ask him for help because, you know, it's like you'll get what you should have gotten from your dad from somebody else who's similar to your dad. So.
And up until that time, like, Mr. Incredible had never taken a adult tone with Buddy. Like, he kind of caved into a lot of things that Buddy wanted. Like, judging from the conversation they have in the Incredimobile, like, he signed pretty much every type of piece of paper Buddy has ever wanted.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's appeared at so many fan meetings.
Like, he already was, like, a perfect, like,
perfect candidate for a father.
Like, he basically... yeah, but he wasn't really being a father. He was just being he was being a good person
adult.
To his fans.
Yep.
Yeah, like, but he was signing autographs.
Think about the wording that Buddy uses when he decides to become Incrediboid. He says, "I'm your ward." Now, ward is a term because in the
adopted son.
Yep. In the 1950s and 60s, it was illegal for a single man to adopt a child. So you could bring them in as your heir, but you couldn't legally adopt them. So Buddy, right there, is saying that he doesn't like his family. Like, you know.
He wants to be Mr. Incredible's son, is basically what he's saying.
Yep.
Like,
so, I mean, he had to have some type of falling out with his super family. We're just waiting because Bird he loves going to conventions, and he always lets things slip out. Based on how this movie goes, if it's, like, true about, you know, a family member of Buddy's, like, coming back for revenge, which would be awesome storytelling, and connect both films a lot more personally, which the movies are all about heart and family, but if they have, like, a different viewpoint of family, like Buddy's family out for revenge against the Incredibles for what happened to Buddy in the first film.
Well, I just was thinking about something. Oh, I'll tell you later.
Whoa! Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm not ready for this.
This is so cool that they have the cutscenes in here from the movie, though.
Yeah, but you don't know what this means.
End of the game?
More or less.
Well, oh.
Haha, you missed. Oh, never mind.
Like, how ferocious this thing is. It's just attacking super fast.
You haven't seen
just
anything yet. Because guess
crazy.
what? We have to fight it!
No! Ah! Alright, well, maybe I'll have to save my thoughts for another time. I was just thinking, the fact that he says, I'm your ward, it shows that he doesn't know anything about Mr. Incredible. He has no idea that he has a family of his own.
He didn't even know he was getting married. Like I was saying, he could have just told Buddy and the police.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was
I have to go get married. He says, we'll get... He doesn't mention anything about his personal life.
But he probably doesn't want to talk to a fan about his personal life.
He doesn't even tell the police stuff.
Oh.
The people he works with.
He doesn't tell anyone because he's trying to keep his family safe, probably.
But the thing is, if you would... Buddy being the genius he is, if he would have said... You know, I have to go, I'm getting married later tonight, then Buddy would just look through all the different weddings that happened that day and eventually deduce who Mr. Incredible was.
Yeah, exactly. And, I don't know, I just noticed at the end of the film, when he's like, who did you contact? Who did you contact? Like, it's like he's not aware that, you know, Mr. Incredible has a superhero wife and stuff.
Right, because he saw Mr. Incredible as a loner. That's what the appeal for the child was, is... This was a superhero who was doing super amazing thing more than his parents.
On his own.
On his own. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what Buddy wanted to be on his own, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting at the end when he's like, he has no... He doesn't... He thinks he knows Mr. Incredible, but he doesn't.
No, because it was Mr. Incredible's idea to settle down and ask Helen to marry him. Like, she... Yeah. There's part of her, during that interview, I'm pretty sure during the interview where they show Elastigirl, Incredible, and Frozone, that is after Helen and Mr. Incredible are engaged. She's having some... She's playing up her interview that, you know, Elastigirl isn't going to leave saving the world to the men, and, you know, she's at the top of her game and all this other stuff, right up there with the big dogs. But if you notice, she looks away from the camera, like, after she says that, because she knows that her life's going to be changing, like, outside of the costume.
Yeah.
I really feel that the interview happened while they were engaged.
Yeah, like, she's still thinking everything over, like, how is her life gonna... Like, she really wanted... Part of her really still wanted to be Elastigirl, but she knew she won't be. Because she's gonna be a mom or whatever.
Well, I mean, all women think that they're gonna, you know, have kids when they get married a lot of the time, so they plan for that and stuff like that. So maybe in Helen's mind, yeah, she was doing that. And in the original opening of the film, it showed them as a suburban family, like at a barbecue and stuff, with being just normal people. They didn't show them being superheroes at all. They wanted to show Bob and Helen as normal people. And then Helen got into an argument with a normal lady who was a career woman who was making fun of Helen for wanting to be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would have irked me so much. You can just feel the tension because she's looking down at Helen like, oh, you're nothing special. You don't do anything special. And it's like, she probably is just like burning to tell her, like, excuse me, like, I'm Elastigirl, like,
yeah,
what?
She doesn't. It was a fun opening, but I mean, it showed the story potential that the Incredibles had. I mean, it could be a great... There's so much you could do with these characters. You could make an animated TV show, you could do movies, you could make more video games. There's so much potential. These characters are full of more life than most of today's comic book characters. I don't think Bird and Disney realize
to make a comic book
the you know, amazing gift that they've created for people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, these are actually superheroes that people could relate to. It's a family of superheroes with real problems.
Well, almost everything,
but they're not crazy superheroes.
Almost everything they go through is so relatable.
Yeah.
Like, every single thing. Yeah.
And, you know, to do a show based on their early days would be hilarious, you know? See how the Incredibles became the Incredibles. Oh. Like how Bob, the egotistical solo superhero, decided to pop the question to Elastigirl. How did Elastigirl fall in love with Mr. Incredible? I mean, those would be interesting stories to tell.
Yeah,
and you could do so through an animated show. Like, jeez. See, this robot is just...
It would be cute to see a romance between them. You get so much romance just out of a few lines of the movie, though.
Yeah, I know.
But, exactly, but they could do even more.
But I'm just saying, you know, if I was Disney, I would milk this, but milk it the right way. Make a cartoon show, make comic books.
Yeah. The writers for the movie are geniuses. Like, all the lines are perfect.
There's one key thing that they did different. Originally, in the movie, they didn't want to show what happened to Syndrome because the actual book for the Incredibles movie, it says that Bob threw a car at Syndrome and you didn't see him again, but it didn't say he was destroyed, whereas in the movie you see or you don't see him get sucked into the jet turbine, like Stratagirl.
Oh, that would make sense why his mom could be Stratagirl.
But at the same time, they have new villains, and, you know, just like the heroes, they were also foreshadowing why capes are bad.
I think I felt that is one of the greatest lines ever. Like
no capes!
Most quoted. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, it explains why Bob is not wearing a cape, for sure.
Yeah, Thunderhead and Dynaguy, you know. Dynaguy, actually, like Buddy, he was just a normal person. Well, I mean, besides Buddy's super intelligence, Dynaguy was a gadget guy. So he accidentally... That's why he didn't survive when he tugged on his cape, when he tried to take off.
Oh,
because he was just a regular person. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because your cape could get caught and stuff. I mean, it totally
well, yeah, I mean...
sense.
Yeah, so that's what happened to Dynaguy. But he was just a normal dude. But the capes thing was hilarious, and it became like an amazing meme, like before there were even memes. No capes.
It's weird that The Incredibles is the only world where superheroes are like normal people, because like in the DC Comics world, the superheroes like Batman, Superman, they're like, you know, like John Jones. They're like way up there on the tower. They're not anything like normal people at all. They don't even live normal lives. They train like crazy. Like they sacrifice everything for the good of humanity. They don't even they give up a normal life to be superheroes. Whereas, like in the Incredibles universe, these people act normal. They act like normal people.
Yeah, because they're trying to blend in.
Yeah, you're right. I wonder if they were less normal before they had to blend in. Yeah.
I really think that, I mean, we don't know how well off Bob and Helen were originally, but we know based on Bob trying to relive the glory days, they've had to move several times and relocate. Frozone, we're pretty sure that he didn't marry a super. Honey, they haven't confirmed or denied whether or not she's a super or not, but he is actually pretty well off. He has a nice car, he has a really nice condo in the city. That was their house, like, really ritzy.
It's like he's coping with normal life better than Bob.
Of course, yeah.
Well, probably because his wife is probably normal, so...
As far as we know, I mean, it'd be awesome to see Honey step it up and surprise Frozone, because it would go back to what he said in the first movie, how, like, you know, superhero lady's always trying to tell you their secret identity. But also, it's interesting because he said another thing that makes it very difficult for Buddy not to have super parents, because it's not normal for a super not to marry a super, because they can't really relate to normal people. Yeah. It definitely. So the fact that Frozone, everybody thinks Honey's normal, it would just be an interesting throwback to his interview from the first film if it turns out that she was, because he didn't like superhero women. He wanted to just not deal with them. He says, you want to tell me that you're like a super cool Saturn chick that can fly? He says, I'm cool with that. But you want to tell me you're just regular girl and doing this and that? He says, nah. So, yeah. Yep. Man, this robot. I hate this robot.
It's so many possibilities, but no matter, like, once everyone sees the movie, then all these possibilities will go away.
Oh, there'll be even more fan theories if none of this is, like anything. See, this robot is just, I hate this thing.
I feel like the hype is so hyped. Hype train is, like, hyped to max.
I don't even think that the Justice League or Infinity War hype is similar to the Incredibles thing. This was 15 years in the making, you know?
They could have made like 10 movies by now.
They'll be that. They could have made at least 2. Because they made like 4 Cars movies, or 3. They made 3.
I like Cars.
I hope they're done with Cars.
But yeah, they've made too many Cars.
No more Cars. And they did the spin-off movies, too. They did Planes.
I like Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy. I think they work well together, and I like both of those actors.
Oh, you're probably wondering why they roll out of the way. That's the only way to avoid the ball roll. If you try to run away with it, you'll get hit. This
is an insane boss. It's hard for me to believe that a lady who just hypnotizes people through the TV is going to be a formidable boss for people to fight. It's just like, oh no, you're hypnotizing me.
Well, a lot of people don't like the fact that Teen Titans Go, the movie, and The Incredibles 2 movie basically have the same premise. Deathstroke basically hypnotizes all the supers to go after the Teen Titans and take over the world, and Screenslaver is trying to hypnotize the whole world to take it over.
Isn't it weird that people always seem to come up with the same ideas at the same time? Like, remember A Bug's Life and Ants came out around the same time and no one knew which one was first? Yeah. It's just like, people come up with the same ideas.
But these people in Hollywood, I mean, they all go to the same places. They all hang out, and it's very possible that ideas get swapped.
They could have, talked about it.
It just goes back to the whole
area.
People want to know, how do you become successful on YouTube? It's really simple, because it's the same thing that's done in television. It's called the remix strategy. This is something that you usually have to pay a lot of money for, but basically you take someone's idea, you make it your own, and you remix it. Like Amber and I, example, we took the Let's Play format, and we, instead of making it just a solo person commentating on games, we've added so many different layers to it. There is a husband and wife mechanic, so two people, two perspectives.
It's a somewhat comedy.
Somewhat comedy, depends. Or it could be very informational based. Yeah. It could be comedic, it could be fun, it could be story driven. We have a lot we can play with that we just do normally. I mean, it's not like I ever tried to do the remix strategy or anything.
Our whole thing when we did the gaming with the Kwings is just sitting and talking and playing games like we were sitting in our living room. Like,
yep. And that's what we're doing right now.
Like, yep.
Oh no. Oh, we are so close.
But you're right, like, they could have been talking in a coffee house somewhere and then get an idea, and then just like, oh, they both have the same idea. Maybe they were both talking in the same, I don't know, both on lunch break somewhere, and they both started talking about something, and then they ended up both doing it for the movie they were making.
All the writers in Hollywood know each other.
So it makes sense why, like, everyone's like, oh my god.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Did you know that most writers in Hollywood, there's really not as many as people think, and they write a majority of the films. So it's very possible that ideas happen, like, get shared by accident, and you know.
I heard the same thing about the music industry. There's like 4 people that write like 90% of pop songs on the radio. It's like they just write pop songs for everyone.
Before I forget, too, people, if you do fight this guy, you will have to fight him 4 times in the game.
Wow.
And each time he gets crazier with more arsenals and stuff like that, but he still has the same pattern where at the end he'll try to roll into you. How you survive a long time fighting this guy is inside the rocks is where your health is. Now, the drops are completely random, but make sure that you, that you take care of the rocks.
This robot is extremely aggressive.
This is what boss battles are supposed to be. I mean, my knuckles are like...
It feels like it's always attacking you a second earlier than you have time to dodge.
Then I have time to react,
because it's just like, it's just more, faster. It feels like the robot is literally not just trying to give you a way that, okay,
it's learning.
Let's give you a chance so you can get me. It's literally trying to kill you.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like it does not want to die. It wants to kill you as soon as possible. Like,
one of the things that Pixar wanted to happen when they included this robot as the boss in this game, which, truthfully, they used this robot too much in the game. Like, I would have liked to see, like, other types of bosses. You literally fight this robot 3 or 4 times based on a different film location, but what they really wanted to hammer to THQ when they were developing this game is that the robot had to be a threat. And what they did was they created one of the hardest bosses of 2004.
Wow.
I have still, to this day, not fully beaten this game, so this is going to be a huge gaming achievement to me if I can beat this game.
You've never beat this robot before?
I can't beat him in the city.
Oh.
He's the final boss in the city.
Oh, you have to beat him in the city too. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, this robot is intense. I'm really glad they put the robot as the final boss though, because it's a final boss in the movie, so it makes sense. Like, sometimes in games they give you a really lame final boss.
Yes!
Ooh, good job.
That's one down.
Creepy.
Creepy bird.
Surprising. We must bring him back. Sound the all clear, and invite him to dinner.
The greatest villains of all time. Syndrome.
He's so creepy.
He still has a following. The actor's coming back to play him in Lego Incredibles too, which is awesome.
Whoa!
Yeah. So anyway, guys and gals, so that does it for this incredible episode. Thank you so much for watching Kwings Let's Plays. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We will see you tomorrow with another incredible episode at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until we meet again, God bless and happy gaming.
Hey, Kwing, guess what? I am your biggest fan.
Oh.